Imagine walking into your local grocery store tomorrow only to find empty shelves staring back at you. Sounds extreme? Think again. It's 2025 and supply chain disruptions are becoming the new normal. In just the past year, the U.S. faced $27 billion disasters, hurricanes, wildfires, floods, you name it. These events caused over $182 billion, 0 cents in damage, and sent panicked shoppers rushing to clear out stores. Globally, things aren't much better. Wars, inflation, and climate crises are wreaking havoc on food supplies. Take the Russia-Ukraine conflict, for example. When one of the world's top wheat exporters was disrupted, global grain prices skyrocketed by 60% almost overnight. Meanwhile, droughts and heat waves are devastating crops worldwide, and inflation has already made your grocery bill nearly 24% higher than just a few years ago. It's no surprise that over 74 million Americans are now prepping, spending billions on emergency supplies. But here's the thing, not all stockpiling is smart. You need to focus on the essentials that are most at risk of disappearing. Stick around as we reveal 15 must-have grocery items to grab now before they're gone for good. Don't wait until it's too late. 1. Stock up on wheat staples, flour, bread, and pasta. When global conflicts and climate disasters collide, the wheat supply takes a massive hit. A prime example is the ongoing war in Ukraine, once known as Europe's breadbasket. The conflict has slashed grain production by nearly 30% and disrupted exports, sending shockwaves through global markets. In 2023, Russia withdrew from a UN grain deal, targeting ports and silos, which further tightened the supply of wheat and corn. Prices soared and the effects trickled down to your grocery store, making bread, pasta, and flour more expensive. Even before these events, the world was already consuming more wheat than it was producing, depleting reserves. By 2024, European wheat harvest hit a 12-year low, creating a global deficit of 5 million tons. Add to that the chaos of climate change, droughts, and extreme heat have devastated wheat fields from Kansas to India. For instance, a severe drought in Texas in 2024 caused $257 million, 0 cents in wheat crop losses. The result? A volatile market and rise in prices. While U.S. flour prices eased slightly after a 20% jump in 2022, experts warn of future spikes. Former USDA economist Joseph Glauber has pointed out that global disruptions like wars are the main drivers of food price surges. And we're seeing plenty of those. To prepare, stock up on flour, wheat berries, pasta, and grains while they're still accessible. White flour, which has a longer shelf life than whole wheat flour, is a smart choice. Store it in airtight containers or even in the freezer to extend its usability. For long-term storage, consider Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers for wheat berries. They can last over a decade. Don't forget yeast and baking powder, as homemade bread might become a necessity. Pasta is another must-have. It's affordable now, but shortages could make it a rare find. Remember the flour and yeast panic buying of 2020? History has a way of repeating itself. By securing these essentials now, you're ensuring your family's daily bread no matter what comes next. 2. Rice, the global staple at risk. Rice, the cornerstone of diets for billions, can go from abundant to scarce in the blink of an eye. In 2023, the world got a harsh reminder of this when India, responsible for 40% of global rice exports, suddenly banned the export of non-basmati white rice. This single move pulled 10 million tons of rice off the market, causing prices to skyrocket to 15-year highs within weeks. The ripple effects were immediate. Countries reliant on imported rice, particularly in Asia and Africa, scrambled to secure supplies, and even U.S. grocery stores saw panic buying of large rice bags. Other major exporters like Thailand and Vietnam considered imposing their own restrictions, further driving up prices by about 20%. As if that weren't enough, Mother Nature added to the chaos. The return of El Niño in 2024 brought drought conditions to key rice-producing regions in Asia. Thailand urged farmers to scale back planting due to low rainfall, while India faced a double blow of floods in some areas and drought in others. These erratic weather patterns, combined with earlier fertilizer shortages and tight stockpiles, created a perfect storm for rice shortages. If rice is a staple in your household, now is the time to act. Prioritize white rice, varieties like jasmine, basmati, or long grain, over brown rice for long-term storage. While brown rice is healthier, its natural oils cause it to spoil within a year, whereas white rice can last 25 to 30 years if stored properly. Consider buying 20 to 50-pound sacks if you have the space. Seal them in food-grade buckets or Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and store them in a cool, dry place. Properly stored rice can outlast even the toughest times, and if shortages ease, it's a versatile food you'll always use. Don't underestimate the potential for rice shortages to impact your local stores. In 2023, certain brands disappeared from shelves in major U.S. cities as families and restaurants rushed to stock up. Avoid being caught off guard, secure your supply now, and ensure your pantry is ready for whatever comes next. Rule 3, coffee, your morning essential under threat. Imagine facing a crisis without your morning coffee. It's not just about caffeine withdrawal. Coffee has become a valuable commodity in tough times. Unfortunately, the coffee supply is under serious pressure. Climate change and extreme weather have wreaked havoc on coffee-growing regions, creating a supply-demand imbalance. By early 2025, coffee prices hit record highs with Arabica beans reaching $4.00, 41 per pound, double the price from just a year earlier. U.S. roasters struggled to keep up with the soaring costs, and consumers felt the pinch. What's behind this surge? A combination of factors. Brazil, the world's largest coffee producer, faced back-to-back seasons of drought and frost, devastating crops and slashing output. Colombia, another major producer, experienced heavy rains that ruined harvest. Meanwhile, global demand for coffee has surged post-pandemic, outpacing supply and depleting reserves. To make matters worse, there's talk of new trade tariffs and export limits on coffee-producing countries, which could further drive up prices. In early 2025, global coffee exports were down 14% year over year, leaving less supply to meet the world's caffeine cravings. For coffee lovers, now is the time to stock up. Whole beans, if stored properly in a cool, dark place, can last months or even years without significant quality loss. Vacuum-sealed bricks of coffee or instant coffee are also excellent options for long-term storage. While instant coffee may not be gourmet, it lasts for years and still delivers that much-needed caffeine boost. For those looking to go the extra mile, consider investing in green, unroasted coffee beans. These have a much longer shelf life than roasted beans, often over a year, and can be roasted at home using a pan or popcorn popper. In a crisis, coffee could become a valuable trade item, much like it was during WRA when it was heavily rationed. As the saying goes, store what you drink. Coffee is more than just a luxury, it's a morale booster and a potential bartering tool in tough times. Don't wait until prices climb even higher or shelves run empty. Secure your supply now and ensure your mornings stay caffeinated, no matter what challenges lie ahead. Or my cocoa chaos, the sweet treat shortage. Whether you're a chocoholic or just enjoy the occasional candy bar, chocolate is one of those luxuries people deeply miss when it's gone. Unfortunately, the world is inching closer to a chocolate crisis. By late 2024, cocoa prices skyrocketed to their highest levels in 6 decades, reaching $10.00, 75 per kilogram by early 2025. This price surge sent shockwaves through the confectionery industry, with major brands like Cadbury and Toblerone warning of shrinking profits. What's behind this cocoa catastrophe? A combination of failed harvests and plant diseases. West Africa, which produces 60% of the world's cocoa, has been hit hard by erratic weather and crop blights. Between 2023 and 2024, global cocoa production dropped by 14%, creating a supply deficit that's been growing for years. Meanwhile, demand for chocolate continues to rise, especially during stressful times when people turn to sweets for comfort. The result? Shrinking chocolate bars, higher prices, and even whispers of replacing cocoa with alternatives like carob. To avoid being stuck with subpar substitutes, stock up on cocoa powder, baking chocolate, chocolate chips, and candy bars now. Cocoa powder, when sealed, can last for years, and dark chocolate has a longer shelf life than milk chocolate due to its lower dairy content. Store your chocolate stash in a cool, dry place to prevent melting or that unappetizing white bloom. Beyond being a treat, chocolate can serve as a morale booster or even a barter item in tough times. Historically, it's been included in military rations for its energy-boosting properties. Don't wait for prices to climb higher or for shelves to empty. Secure your sweet supply now. 5, liquid gold, cooking oils under pressure. Cooking oil might not seem like a big deal until you run out and realize how essential it is. From frying to baking, oil is the backbone of countless recipes, but the global supply of edible oils has been on a roller coaster ride, with disruptions hitting everything from palm oil to olive oil. In 2022, Indonesia, the world's largest palm oil producer, abruptly banned exports, causing panic in global markets. Around the same time, the war in Ukraine cut off a significant portion of sunflower oil exports. Then in 2023 and 2024, a severe drought in Spain devastated olive harvests, sending olive oil prices soaring to record highs of over $8.00, 50 per liter. Mediterranean households known for their love of olive oil were forced to switch to cheaper alternatives like sunflower oil, until those too became expensive. The ripple effects didn't stop there. Droughts in Canada hit canola crops, and erratic weather in the U.S. impacted soybean yields. Grocery stores began rationing oils, with 2 bottles per customer signs becoming a familiar sight. To prepare, stockpiled a variety of oils. Olive oil is great for low-heat cooking in salads, or vegetable or canola oil works well for frying. Coconut oil and ghee are excellent long-term options as they have extended shelf lives. Unopened vegetable oils can last 1 to 2 years, while coconut oil and ghee can last even longer. Store your oils in a cool, dark place to prevent them from going rancid. If you're worried about expiration dates, powdered butter or shortening can serve as backups. Cooking without oil is a grim prospect. You can't fry an egg, bake bread, or even saute vegetables properly. Plus, fats are a crucial source of energy, especially in survival situations. With more edible oils being diverted to biofuel production, competition between food and fuel is only intensifying. Don't wait for the next shortage. Grab those Costco-sized jugs now and ensure your pantry is well stocked. 6. Protein panic, meat and alternatives in jeopardy. Picture a future where a simple steak or burger becomes a luxury item. That future might be closer than you think. By 2024, beef prices in the U.S. hit all-time highs, with the average cost of fresh beef surpassing $8.00 per pound. Ground beef, once a budget-friendly staple, climbed to over $5.00 per pound, leaving many families struggling to afford it. The root cause? A multi-year drought that decimated pastures across the U.S., forcing ranchers to cull their herds early. This led to a temporary glut of beef, followed by a sharp decline in cattle numbers. By 2024, the U.S. beef cattle herd was the smallest it had been in 73 years. Rebuilding herds takes years, so the supply gap isn't closing anytime soon. It's not just beef that's under pressure. Poultry took a hit from an avian flu outbreak in 2003, which killed over 43 million chickens. Egg prices spiked nearly 70% year over year, and turkey shortages made holiday meals more challenging. Pork also faced disruptions due to processing bottlenecks. To prepare, stock up on shelf-stable proteins. Canned tuna, salmon, chicken, and Spam are excellent options as they can last 3 to 5 years. Beef jerky and summer sausage are also great for short-term storage, while dried beans and peanut butter provide plant-based protein alternatives. If you have a freezer, consider stocking it with meat, but have a backup plan in case of power outages. Pressure canning, making jerky, or even creating pemmican, a mix of dried meat and fat, are excellent ways to preserve meat for the long haul. Protein powder is another smart addition to your stockpile. A large tub of whey or plant-based protein powder can help maintain your nutrition if fresh food becomes scarce. Muscle loss is a real concern during long emergencies, so ensuring you have enough protein is critical. Don't wait for meat prices to climb even higher or for shortages to hit your local stores. Stock up now and ensure your family has access to this essential nutrient no matter what challenges lie ahead. 7. Egg alternatives and dairy backups, a breakfast lifeline. The recent egg crisis taught us a hard lesson. Something as simple as an egg can suddenly become a luxury. In late 2022 and early 2023, a devastating avian flu outbreak wiped out millions of egg-laying hens, causing egg supplies to plummet, prices skyrocket by 200-300%, with a dozen eggs costing $4.00 in many areas. Shelves were bare, and it felt like wartime rationing for omelets. While the situation improved as farmers replenished their flocks, the threat of bird flu remains. Experts warn that the virus is evolving and could strike again, potentially with even worse consequences. Dairy products face their own challenges. Fresh milk has a short shelf life and relies on a fragile supply chain. Droughts have driven up feed costs, which in turn raise milk prices. Butter hit record highs in 2022 due to tight cream supplies, and any disruption, be it a hurricane, blizzard, or power outage, can halt milk production and delivery. To prepare, focus on shelf-stable options. Powdered eggs are a fantastic alternative, lasting 5-10 years when sealed. They rehydrate well and are perfect for cooking and baking. For dairy, stock up on powdered milk, which is ideal for recipes and coffee. Shelf-stable UHT milk cartons, canned condensed milk, and evaporated milk are also excellent choices. For butter, consider canned butter or ghee, both of which have long shelf lives. Cheese lovers can opt for wax, cheddar, canned cheese, or even processed options like Velveeta. These may not be gourmet, but they'll satisfy your cravings in a pinch. Don't forget protein shakes or shelf-stable milk drinks for an easy protein boost. By securing these alternatives, you'll ensure your breakfast and baking don't grind to a halt, even if fresh eggs and milk disappear from store shelves. 8. Citrus and vitamin C, a nutritional lifesaver. Scurvy might sound like a problem from pirate tales, but without access to fresh produce, vitamin C deficiencies can become a real issue. Citrus fruits like oranges, lemons, and grapefruits are the easiest sources of this essential nutrient, but they're notoriously hard to store long term. Why might citrus become scarce? 2 major factors: disease and extreme weather. Florida, once a citrus powerhouse, has seen its orange production plummet due to citrus greening disease, which has devastated groves for over a decade. Hurricane Ian in 2022 further crippled the industry, leading to the smallest orange crop in 86 years, a staggering 61% drop from the previous year. Globally, Brazil is a major orange producer, but droughts have impacted their harvests as well. Other fruits face similar challenges, with spring freezes damaging apple crops and droughts affecting peaches. In a crisis, fresh fruit is often the first thing to disappear from grocery stores, leaving people scrambling for alternatives. To prepare, stock up on shelf-stable sources of vitamin C. Canned fruits like mandarin oranges, pineapple, and peaches are packed at peak freshness and retain much of their nutritional value. Shelf-stable orange juice cartons or canned juice concentrates are also excellent options, lasting months to over a year. Dried fruits like raisins, apricots, and berries can be useful, though their vitamin C content varies and degrades over time. For a no-fail solution, stockpile vitamin C tablets. They're cheap, last for years, and can keep your family healthy in a pinch. Other sources of vitamin C include canned tomatoes and potatoes, but nothing beats the refreshing taste of fruit. If you have freezer space, frozen berries and citrus juice concentrates are great, but always have canned or powdered drink mixes as a backup. In tough times, a bit of tangy fruit can boost both morale and nutrition. Don't wait for scurvy to become a modern problem. Secure your vitamin C sources now. 9. Sweet Essentials, sugar and its substitutes. Sugar might seem like a pantry staple that's always available, but global events are proving otherwise. India, one of the world's largest sugar producers, faced poor harvests in 2023 due to weak monsoons. To protect its domestic supply, the country drastically cut sugar exports, allowing only 1 million tons to leave its borders compared to 11 million the previous year. This sudden restriction sent sugar prices soaring to decade highs. Brazil, the top sugar producer, had a decent crop, but droughts and fires soon damaged their cane fields. Meanwhile, global demand for sugar continues to rise, not just for food, but also for ethanol fuel production. Extreme weather is also impacting sugar beet crops in the U.S., with freak freezes and storms ruining harvests in key states like Minnesota and North Dakota. In a crisis, sugar becomes even more valuable. People turn to comfort foods, and baking skyrockets. Just think back to the pandemic baking craze when flour, yeast, and sugar flew off shelves. If supply chains falter, sugar could vanish quickly. To prepare, stockpile granulated white sugar, which lasts indefinitely if stored in a dry, airtight container. A 25 or 50-pound bag is a smart investment. Brown sugar doesn't last as long as it can harden, but is still usable if softened. Honey is another excellent option. It never spoils and has medicinal properties. Other sweeteners like molasses, maple syrup, and agave can last for years if unopened. These provide variety and can be used in baking or as toppings. Sugar isn't just for desserts, it's a quick source of energy and a morale booster. In a survival situation, a spoonful of jam or a drizzle of honey can make a world of difference. Sugar also has barter potential. Historically, it was a luxury item, and in times of scarcity, it could become one again. By stockpiling now, you're not just securing a sweet treat, you're investing in a valuable commodity that could be worth its weight in gold. 10 Baby Formula, a lifeline for the littlest ones. If you have a baby or plan to, this is a must-read. Baby formula can vanish from shelves faster than you'd think, as we painfully learned in 2022. A perfect storm of events, including the shutdown of Abbott's Michigan plant over contamination concerns, collided with pandemic-era supply chain issues. By May 2022, nearly half of all formula products were out of stock nationwide, and within weeks, that number soared to an unprecedented 70%. Parents were left scrambling, driving hours across state lines, or resorting to risky homemade recipes. It was a full-blown crisis, and the U.S. had to launch Operation Fly Formula, using military planes to import formula from overseas. Why is formula so vulnerable? The industry is highly concentrated, with just a few manufacturers under strict regulations. If one plant shuts down, there's no slack in the system. Add in the fact that formula is a daily necessity for millions of babies, and you've got a recipe for panic. If you have an infant, don't wait for the next shortage. Build a stockpile of formula now, especially the type your baby tolerates. Formula typically has a shelf life of about a year, so rotate your supply to keep it fresh. Even breastfeeding families should have formula on hand as a backup. Stress or poor nutrition during emergencies can impact milk supply. For those without babies, consider storing a few cans for bartering or to help a neighbor in need. Formula is also useful for feeding orphaned animals in a pinch. In a crisis, having formula on hand could make you a hero to a desperate parent. 11. Canned tomatoes and veggies, the pantry powerhouses. Love pizza, pasta, salsa? Then you'll want to pay attention. Tomatoes, the backbone of countless recipes, are increasingly at risk due to climate stress. California, which grows nearly all of America's processing tomatoes, has been grappling with severe droughts. By 2022, experts were warning of a tomato shortage as farmers planted less due to water restrictions. The result? Higher prices for tomato paste, canned tomatoes, and sauces. Some brands even had to tweak recipes or source tomatoes from abroad. And it's not just tomatoes. Canned vegetables of all kinds are a prepper's dream. They're cheap, long-lasting, and ready to eat, making them one of the first items to fly off shelves during a crisis. To prepare, stock up on canned tomatoes and a variety of vegetables. Think flats of corn, peas, green beans, and spinach. These cans typically last 2 to 5 years, and even beyond their expiration date, they're usually safe to eat. Tomatoes are especially versatile, loaded with vitamin C and lycopene, and can be used in everything from chili to homemade pizza sauce. Don't forget condiments like ketchup, salsa, and hot sauce, which rely on tomatoes and peppers. A bad harvest can make these items scarce, as seen during the 2022 sriracha shortage caused by a poor chili crop. If you're feeling ambitious, learn to can your own vegetables and sauces. Home canning turns a summer bounty into a 2-year food supply. But if that's not your thing, store-bought cans are an affordable and reliable option. And 12. Beans and peanut butter, the protein powerhouses. When it comes to affordable, long-lasting protein, beans and peanut butter are hard to beat. These staples are not only everyday essentials, but also survival superstars. However, even these humble items aren't immune to shortages. Take chickpeas, for example. In 2022, a combination of bad weather in North America and the war in Ukraine led to a 20% drop in global supply. Hummus became harder to find and more expensive. Similarly, droughts in the U.S. and Canada have impacted the production of lentils, peas, and other legumes. To prepare, stockpile beans in all forms. Dried beans, when stored in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, can last over 25 years. Canned beans are another excellent option. They're ready to eat and require no cooking, which is crucial if water or fuel is scarce. Black beans, chickpeas, kidney beans, and baked beans are all great choices. Peanut butter is another must-have. High in calories and protein, it's a kid-friendly staple that requires no cooking. While peanut butter typically lasts a year or more unopened, it's wise to store extra jars. If allergies are a concern, consider alternatives like sunflower or almond butter. Beans and peanut butter have been survival foods for centuries, from cowboys cooking beans over a campfire to soldiers relying on peanut butter rations. They're cheap, versatile, and easy to store, making them a cornerstone of any emergency food supply. For variety, stock up on spices and hot sauce to dress up your beans. You can even sprout dried beans for a fresh vitamin-rich addition to your meals. In a crisis, these protein-packed staples will keep you strong and satisfied when other options are scarce. 13 is pet food and supplies. Don't forget your furry friends. In a crisis, your pets won't understand why their food bowls are empty. Recent years have shown us how quickly pet food can disappear from shelves. Between 2020 and 2021, canned cat food shortages became a real issue, driven by a mix of supply chain disruptions, aluminum shortages, and a surge in pet adoptions. With more pets to feed and fewer resources to produce their food, manufacturers struggle to keep up. Pet food often relies on byproducts from human food production, like meat scraps and grains. If those industries face disruptions, whether from livestock shortages or plant shutdowns, pet food supplies can shrink and prices can soar. In late 2021, some pet food prices jumped by 20-30%, leaving many families struggling to afford kibble. To prepare, stockpile food for your pets just as you would for yourself. Dry kibble, when stored in a cool, dry place, can last beyond its 1-year shelf life, though fats may eventually go rancid. Rotate your stock to keep it fresh. Canned pet food, on the other hand, can last 2 years or more, making it a great option for long-term storage. If your pet is picky, make sure to stock up on their preferred brand. Emergencies won't change their taste buds. Don't forget other essentials like cat litter, which also saw shortages during the pandemic, or poop bags for dogs. Exotic pets like reptiles or birds require specialized food and supplies, so it's even more critical to build a backup stash for them. Lastly, consider medications and first aid supplies for your pets. Heartworm prevention, flea treatments, and any maintenance meds should be part of your stockpile. In a crisis, a well-fed and healthy pet can provide comfort, protection, and even pest control. Take care of them and they'll take care of you. 14. Hygiene Essentials. Comfort and cleanliness in chaos. If 2020 taught us anything, it's that toilet paper is the first thing to vanish when panic strikes. During the early days of the pandemic, U.S. toilet paper sales spiked by 845% in March alone, leaving shelves stripped bare. People lined up at dawn and even followed delivery trucks to snag a pack. While it's easy to laugh about now, the reality is that hygiene items are critical in a crisis. Beyond toilet paper, essentials like tissues, paper towels, feminine hygiene products, diapers, soap, and toothpaste are just as important. After disasters like hurricanes, relief organizations often distribute hygiene kits because staying clean is vital for health and dignity. To prepare, stock up on these items before the next panic. Toilet paper doesn't expire, so having a few months' supply per person is a smart move. Store it in a dry, pest-free area. Some people even vacuum seal rolls to save space and keep them fresh. Don't overlook other hygiene products. Soap, shampoo, razors, deodorant, and trash bags are all essentials that can become scarce in a crisis. Trash bags in particular can double as emergency toilets or waste disposal if infrastructure breaks down. Feminine hygiene products and baby wipes are also crucial. During the pandemic, these items saw significant shortages, leaving many scrambling. By building a stockpile now, you'll ensure your family's comfort and health no matter what happens. P15, water and purification, the ultimate survival essential. Water is the most critical resource in any emergency. When the taps run dry or become contaminated, clean drinking water disappears from stores almost instantly. Whether it's a hurricane, power outage, or infrastructure failure, water is often the first thing people panic buy. The average person needs about a gallon of water per day for drinking and basic hygiene. FEMA recommends storing at least 3 days' worth per person, but seasoned preppers aim for 2 weeks or more. In major disasters like Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico or the Flint water crisis, people relied on bottled water for months. To prepare, stockpile water in multiple forms. Start with flats of bottled water, which are easy to store under beds or in closets. For larger volumes, consider refillable 5-gallon jugs or 55-gallon water barrels. Treat stored tap water with unscented bleach or water preserver to keep it safe for long-term use. Since you can only store so much, invest in water filters and purification methods. Gravity-fed filters like Berkey or Sawyer systems can handle pond or rainwater, making it drinkable. Portable filters and purification tablets are great for on-the-go emergencies. If you have advance warning of a disaster, fill your bathtub using a water storage liner, which can hold up to 100 gallons. Don't forget electrolyte solutions or sports drinks to prevent dehydration during heavy labor or illness. Water is life. Without it, survival becomes impossible in just a few days. By storing and purifying water now, you'll ensure your family's safety and comfort when it matters most.